Hey guys, it's James from FTR Outdoors.
Devin from FTR Outdoors.
Today we're in the Badlands. So every year at work, people ask me and they ask Shauna. If you guys don't remember who Shauna is, she makes an appearance in the videos. She's my girlfriend. They notice that we're always out camping, fly fishing, getting outside. The whole premise of FTR, we're getting outdoors. And they always ask, like, oh, how do you do that? How do you get outside so much? How do you find the time to go camping every single week? It seems like you're always out camping. That statement's pretty true. I would say our season every year is getting longer and longer because we enjoy it so much. Last year I want to say we spent 65, maybe more days out camping, sleeping in the truck, fly fishing. And this year we're off to an even quicker start because we're starting in the winter time. My answer to people is always, don't make excuses, just go outside, do what you want to do. If you really enjoy it, if you really want to do it, then make time to do it. Everyone has time in their schedule, no matter how busy you are. So this trip we decided to kind of reach out to the people who can't maybe go for 3-4 days at a time, people who can't go out for a week at a time, or sometimes we go on 10-day trips, 2-week-long trips. This is more aimed to the people who only have Saturday, Sunday off, or maybe Friday night, Saturday night off, who are trying to find a means or the motivation to get out camping and make it outdoors.
We're talking about a 2-hour drive, a campsite you can access with any vehicle. That was kind of the basis of the trip. Just an overall accessible trip for anyone to do. You kind of need like a tent or a sleeping pad or a sleeping bag, but there was people camped next to us sleeping in their cars. I don't know, you kind of have to think, like, unless you're consistently camping, you're probably not going to be super comfortable anyways. And what's one night's sleep? Like, one bad night's sleep, it's not going to make a huge difference, right?
I forgot about Drumheller, to be honest. Like, I still forget about it. Close to where we live, usually you wouldn't associate a nice scenic area near Edmonton or northern Alberta because it's flat and it's boring for the most part, depending on what you're into.
You look at Instagram and all you see is Rocky Mountains, Banff, Canmore. And you talk about southern Alberta, you don't think about Drumheller. When you go to Canmore and Banff, you know what you're expecting. You Google Drumheller and you see some hoodoos and stuff, but when we got there, it was like, this is amazing. I never would have guessed this was here.
But if you were just driving through and you went to Drumheller and you didn't know about it, you would, I would say, be as excited or as drawn into the scenery of the landscape because it is so different. We didn't have a fancy tent, we didn't have a bunch of equipment. We had a small cooler. You won't even need a cooler, to be honest, with a few items of food in it. We only needed enough food for 3 meals, maybe less. You could probably get away with 2, 1. A few beers, which you pick up at the store on the way if you're, if you're like us and you notice that we like our beers. And a tank of gas, and it was a no commitment trip. We got home Sunday afternoon, and if we were to have to go to work on Monday, we would have easily been ready to go back to work.
Different hobbies will still lead you camping or going outside. Like if you're really into photography, like you're not gonna sit in your bedroom and shoot out your window. Like you're gonna go out and drive somewhere and find something to take a photo of. If we told someone, oh, we're gonna go out to Drumheller so we can cook burritos in a canyon, like people would be like, what? But I bet you if they were there, they would understand it.
The way I see it, like I've been to Utah, I've been to Arizona. It looks a lot like a smaller version of like the Grand Canyon, of Zion in a way, of like, well, that's why they call it the Badlands. It's like a desert. It's like we have our own little desert. And there's random like sandstone kind of weird structures of like not really mountains but not really hills, and it's been eroded away over time, and it makes these weird canyons and badland like environments that you'd associate it being in like an old West movie, like a Wild West movie.
In the last decade, Drumheller has never crossed my mind. And in the future, 100% I would go camp in Drumheller again.
It is picturesque, it is scenic. We did the cook out in the canyon, and the only reason why we did that is because we're like, wow, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be way different than like your average cook around a campfire.
I think for anyone watching, you might not have an idea of where to camp until you get outdoors and like you find that place, and it's gonna be different for everyone.
So yeah, like you don't have to go far to be, I guess, blown away or your socks knocked off, right? Like Drumheller's not all about dinosaurs and museums and stuff like that. You can actually enjoy the landscape and the geography and topography of the area. The goal of it is to motivate you to just get further away from home, to push outside of those boundaries that you're used to, and to go places that you never would have otherwise thought of going, or places that you maybe didn't know existed.